Hey, so today I wanted to do a video talking about the difference between self-love and self-care. And the reason I wanted to do this was because I was watching some clips from the Drew Barrymore show, and she just recently did a segment where she sort of like surveyed a bunch of random people, and as it comes to find out, like, people are really confused about self-love and self-care, and they're not even sure like what it is even. And it's being, they're being confused with each other, and then some people are like, what, like, self-love, I don't even, it's just like baloney. It's a bunch of bullshit. So I'm just like, I just wanted to talk about this today. And she had this whole panel of people talking about it, and I really wish that I was like a part of that conversation, but I wasn't. I was just like home alone watching the video, like thinking, oh, I wanted to say this there. So I just wrote down like 4 pages of notes because that's what I do. And then I thought I would just talk to you all or myself about it, and then we could just hash this out together. So the first thing that I noticed was that Drew, we were on a first name basis, Drew Barrymore and me. Drew pointed out that she's always comfortable when everybody else is comfortable, but then she also pointed out that she didn't think this was necessarily along the lines of self-love. Well, I think that highlighted a good point that some people think that self-love means being self-centered or selfish, and it's not. It's not that at all. It is taking care of yourself, and sometimes it does mean prioritizing yourself, like you have to put your oxygen mask on in order to save the rest of the passengers on the plane, but it's not always the case. Like, it's not synonymous with being selfish or self-centered. In fact, loving yourself and being the best version of yourself would require you to be a sharing and giving person. But I think that the key there is to have balance, and to have balance in the amount that you give and receive, so that you're not over giving to the point of depletion, or having someone take advantage of you, or you resenting it, or you just being exhausted and like you're giving so much that you don't have anything left to like take care of yourself with. So along the train of thought about self-love isn't being selfish, I have this like really pet peeve that people also use the idea of self-love and self-acceptance to excuse themselves for being terrible people. In particular, like, people are always quoting Marilyn Monroe. I believe she said this out of context, and the quote is that if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. And this has become like the narcissist's credo, and it just drives me insane, because it's always like really bratty people that want to like sit there and say that, because they don't want to like accept the fact that like they've been acting like shit and people are sick of them, and then they leave them. They're like, well, you can't handle me, then you don't deserve me. And so basically that quote is not a hall pass to be an asshole or a narcissist or a sociopath or even just a spoiled brat. So it's self-acceptance is being okay with who you are, but also knowing that we all probably should be trying to grow and become better people throughout our lives. Like, no one's perfect, and no one is arrived, and no one is born the best version of themselves. So unless you want to have a very flat, boring life, you're probably going to be growing. So it means that you love yourself and you like who you are, but you're always like striving to be your best. Okay, so what else? We've covered the assholes. Oh, self-love isn't buying things for yourself. I mean, it can be sometimes, but not like all the time. Like, brands and commercials and general culture and social media, it's always like presenting self-indulgence as self-love, like, ooh, buy this for yourself, buy this for yourself, go splurge, like you deserve it, like, eat the whole cake, like, gain 100 pounds, like, we just love you anyway. Like, okay, sure, but like sometimes self-indulgence equals self-sabotage. So whilst there are a bunch of people who are like, oh, 2020, I'm just gonna like become a total alcoholic and like, get diabetes and gain like 700 pounds. Like, that's not self-love. Like, that's not being compassionate on yourself. Like, that's just like giving up. Like, I know, because I've gained a bunch of weight and I'm so mad. And I just like, I don't know. I think that there's a balance to everything. I think that sometimes it means take it easy, have a brownie, like have a couple of glasses of wine, but it doesn't mean that every night you should have like 5 boxes of wine and eat a sheet cake by yourself. And then like spend $1,000 on Amazon and, you know, deplete your bank account. Sometimes it's actually just self-sabotaging. So self-love and self-indulgence are not synonymous. That doesn't mean that self-indulgence isn't okay though, as long as it's in balance and you're just doing it within reason. Oh yes, so self-care is often confused for self-love, and it's not that they're related. Okay, so you know, self-care is things like on the most superficial level, it might be getting your nails done, or like getting your toes done, or getting your hair done. It can be getting a massage. It can be going to the dentist. It can be getting a yearly physical. It can be, you know, having a workout regime, or you know, setting an early bedtime for yourself, or, you know, setting a goal of getting up early. It can be, we talked about meditation. Self-care might be like having a wind down at night where you know, you're unplug and you let yourself like calm down from the day and do something that's restful, but also while you're awake. Like, it's not just sleep. It's like, oh, read a book, like do something that makes you rest while you're awake. Let's see what other things about self-care. Buying good groceries, like healthy groceries, so that you're not eating junk food all the time, and committing to like make good food for yourself. Self-care. It could be spa treatments. It could be good grooming. It could be like taking the time to like take a shower, wash your face, put on some makeup, do your hair, do the things that make you feel good about yourself. But self-care is basically like taking care and maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It's also kind of keeping your life in order and keeping your household in order, cleaning your house, do your laundry, like pay your bills, like make sure that your finances are stable. Safe self-care, taking care of your mental health. Sometimes it might be taking a mental health day, or spending time with the people who light you up. Like just being with your friends and having a good time and just like throwing cares to the wind. Taking care of wellness from inside and out. Okay, so self-love is deeper than those activities that you do to take care of yourself. So self-love is actually showing up for yourself in a way where you can follow through on these habits that you've set. So self-love is when it's like sucks and you want to sleep in, but there's things that you want to do in the morning before your day gets busy, like work out or meditate or have a gratitude journal practice, or, you know, pursue a goal outside of all the other responsibilities that you have. Like self-love is saying, okay, I'm gonna get up. I'm not gonna press snooze. Like I'm gonna wake up. That's why I went to bed early, so that I would get enough rest to be able to wake up and do this. So I'm going to show up for myself because I love myself. I deserve this dream, this goal, this whatever, or even the experience of just having a nice, not rushed morning. And so I'm gonna follow through on the things that I've committed to myself to do. So it's commitment to yourself. It's making those healthy habits. It's actually following through on them. It's when you've bought the groceries, it's actually making a practice of cooking yourself healthy meals, instead of being like, well, I've got all these groceries in the refrigerator, but I'm still just gonna go get like Taco Bell, or like go get drinks and get like, you know, something fried at the bar. Like it's actually making the salad and eating it. Self-love is self-respect. It's building self-esteem. It's valuing yourself enough to invest in yourself, whether that be a money investment. in, you know, maybe furthering your education, or, you know, lots of things, you know, take money that are actually of value. It might be saving up for a house if you want to buy a house. You know, there might be like, you might need to like get some stuff done on your car. So it might be like loving yourself enough to put the money aside to take good care of your car so that your life is in order and it's not a wreck. Self-love, what other things are self-love? So, oh yeah, valuing yourself enough to maybe educate yourself in a way, in something that you're interested in but you don't know about, or maybe learning how to pursue a goal. Like, maybe you have a goal, but it feels so far away because you don't know anything about it. And you're like, oh, well, I don't know anything about that, so I guess I'll never do it. Well, like, nobody really does when they first start out. It always takes educating yourself first. So education is a big one. You might value yourself enough to spend some time getting healthy, working out, reading, like we said, educating. Spending time calming your mind. In meditation, you might start a spiritual practice. You might start learning more about your emotional health. So it could be investing in like going to, well, this is bordering on self-care and self-love, but it might be like going to a therapist or getting some kind of energy work done, or reading, or some kind of counseling service to help you work through some things. Self-love is seeing the parts of yourself that really need to grow. Like, if you have a terrible temper, like, it might be calming that temper. If you're carrying around a grudge, or like some horrible experience or some painful memory that someone has wronged you with, or like an experience wronged you terribly and it's just haunting you all the time, you might have to do some things to work through that, to like put that down and let it go. And that is also loving yourself, because that's giving you the compassion to set yourself free from something that's really weighing you down. So yeah, like getting beyond an anger issue. Maybe you have commitment problems and it's preventing you from like having, you know, fulfilling relationships. You know, there could be any number of things that could be wrong with any one of us, or just not quite fully developed yet. So it could be just like taking some kind of issue that might be holding you back, or that you would like to work on, and actually doing the work to work on it or heal the wound. It is forgiving yourself and others. Self-care or self-love is self-compassion. It's forgiving yourself. Self-love is like, if you've made a mistake, self-love is saying, okay, I see that I made a mistake. I see that this is what I should learn from this, and then I'm going to do my best next time, and then let it go and move on. Self-love is not beating yourself up and like talking to yourself like a dog about it forever and feeling like shit for days or weeks or hours or years or months or millennia. Like, just let it go and move on. Like, don't beat yourself up. And that kind of weighs into self-acceptance. Like, self-acceptance is being able to just like yourself the way you are. And you don't have to be grandiose. You don't have to be more than you, and you don't have to shrink yourself down for anybody else either, or dim yourself to like make you more palatable to other people. Like, it's one thing like to be like, oh, I shouldn't act like an asshole, or I shouldn't be mean to people, but like, it's another thing to be like, oh, I can't be this big personality because people will be, like, they don't like, you know, people like that. Just be yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, and other people will be comfortable too. It doesn't matter how weird you are, just embrace it and let your freak flag fly. So what else have we got? Don't be self-entitled. That goes back to that narcissistic thing. Oh, healthy boundaries. Teaching like learning how you should be treated, because not everyone knows how they should be treated. I know it took me a long time to learn like how I should be treated, and what's okay and not okay. And I think it's learning how and how you should be treated, and teaching other people how to treat you. And if they're not willing to treat you the way you deserve, then maybe you just need to be busy every time they try to call you so they can abuse you and suck your life force. Like, you don't have to have some big confrontation like, okay, we're done. Like, just don't hang out, like be busy, like avoid them like the plague, and like distance yourself until you finally grow apart and they get bored of chasing after you. Or have the confrontation if you need to. It's like, sometimes it's healthy to sometimes in the moment, like there's moments where you really need to stand your ground and stand up for yourself. And then sometimes it's just like, you can quietly move on and not make a big deal out of it. Let's see. Self-esteem, self-respect, value yourself, be willing to invest in yourself. Self-love is saying no to people or jobs or situations that won't give you what you desire, deserve, or value. And that was also beware of entitlement. Like, don't be like, you need to pay me this and I'm not going to do anything in return for it or whatever. Or like, don't be like the Marilyn Monroe quote gone bad girl. But like, this is like, don't continually allow the player to play you. Some people just keep on going back for more and they're like, I just don't know what it is. And it's like, you know what it is. You're completely giving yourself up to someone who's not willing to have a real relationship, or, you're going to a job where you hate it and it makes you miserable and you just keep continuing to go year after year. But yeah, back to the player. I think that really plagues a lot of people, especially women. They're like, I just don't know why I can't meet a good guy. And I don't know why this person won't commit to me and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's a chance that this person has told you from the beginning that they don't want anything serious, or all of their actions are telling you that, and you're choosing not to see it, and you're choosing to stay with them anyway. And you're telling yourself that you can change them and that they're going to eventually grow to love you and they're going to change their mind, but they're not. So just start fresh. Like, keep yourself open to someone who's actually meeting you where you're at and who loves you and is so crazy about you that they're like, oh yeah, I'm all in, like right from the beginning. Like, some people are willing to commit. You just aren't meeting those people because you're like stuck with player guy who keeps like calling you and like texting you. No, he doesn't even call you. He texts you YWD. Like 11:30. I mean, like, no. You just tell that YWD, same phone, don't care, okay? Let's see. Self-love, self-care. So many pages. Make choices. Allow you to build trust with yourself. Oh, yes. Okay, so that leads into choosing to... Okay, so sometimes we have a hard time loving ourselves or accepting ourselves or like having forgiveness or compassion for ourselves if we have gotten into situations where we have trusted people who have wronged us in some way, or have proven to us that they did not deserve our trust, and then it damages our trust with ourselves. And in order to recover that and be able to trust anyone else again, we must first repair our own ability to trust ourselves again. And the way you do that is to very, slowly dip your toe in the water with people, and don't just open up and be trusting to everyone. You don't have to be paranoid and like build up a wall and think that everybody's out to screw you, but like, you can take it slowly with people and let them earn your trust over time. And you also have to be rigorously honest with yourself. If you keep wasting years of your life on the player, you won't trust yourself either, because you're lying to yourself all the time. Like, we lie to ourselves more often and in more destructive ways than we ever lie to other people. And so I think that it starts first with being able to rebuild trust with yourself. And that starts with being rigorously honest and then following through to stand up for ourselves, to protect ourselves, so that we can let our guard down with other people, because we know after a certain amount of time, when we've earned our own trust back with ourselves, that we are trustworthy to discern in time, in good timing, who deserves our trust and who doesn't, and who should be in our life and who should not be in our lives. Oh, sometimes self-love is that you don't have to be perfect, that you don't have to be the hero, that you don't have to like save the world, you don't have to like make the salad. Sometimes self-love is like, oh God, I'm so tired, I can't even bear the thought, I'm just going to order a pizza. You know, sometimes that's self-love. Sometimes it's, I'm just good enough right here, right now, in my sweatpants, and that's okay. And it kind of like goes against the whole like self-love is like putting your face on and getting your hair done. And it's like the funny thing about a lot of spirituality is that you have to be complex enough to hold a paradox. Like, it's not really this or that, it's usually yes and. So it's balance, it's both. It's, hey, I can appreciate my face with no makeup, but every now and then I think I still need to wear some because it makes me feel good. And I definitely look more enhanced with makeup on than not, and definitely less like an ailing Victorian girl with like a hot compress on her head. Sometimes I look very like poorly if I'm like not made up. I just look very like I've had a fever and like leeches have been draining me of my blood. Let's see, you don't have to perform like a robot. But yes, okay, so self-love is much like it is in a relationship. Self-lust and romance is easy. That's where the indulgence comes in. That's where a lot of like the self-carry stuff comes in. But self-love is like the boring stuff where you have to like show up year after year and scrub the toilet of your life and be there through thick and thin and do the things you don't feel like doing and push through the difficulty. And because you see the long term, you see the long game, you're like, okay, this is worth it, and I've put all this investment in and I am worth this. So sometimes it's, yeah, it's not having 10 glasses of wine, sometimes it's having 2, sometimes it's having 0, sometimes it means going to bed early, you know. It's sometimes just the very mundane, not glamorous things. Oh, I had one personal story I was going to tell. So sometimes, like, and this is with the self-acceptance category. So all my life I've had, I guess, like, I mean, I kind of have struggled with my weight, but I've never been like super overweight. It's just always been like the same, like 50 vanity pounds where like I'll go back and forth between, and I won't look my best and I won't feel my best. But like I used to be really hard on myself about it. Like growing up, I thought like no one would love me if I didn't look perfect. Like I thought I didn't deserve to be with anyone and I wouldn't have a boyfriend, even though I did have a boyfriend at times and when I was like technically overweight, but like that, I didn't see that part. I was just like, oh, they think I'm hideous, it's so gross, like, you know, and it really wasn't true. And so several years back, I was kind of like out of a relationship. I was really heartbroken at the time. I was really just depressed and I was getting really skinny and I looked really fantastic. I was going through a lot of things. I was healing from a lot of things, and there were a lot of like really magical parts of my life too, because like I was getting a lot of like spiritual insights about stuff. So it was just very extreme. It was like either very depressed or like very magical. And then I was also really in shape and I didn't deserve to eat. So I was like, I had abs and like I had the Britney Spears arms from Oops, I Did It Again. And it was great. I was really enjoying it. And I was like, oh my God, like I look the best I've ever looked in my life. This is amazing. And then I enter Tori, and Tori's my boyfriend and he's my lovey-dovey and my honey bunny. And we love each other and he loves me unconditionally. And Tori is a Cajun who loves life and he loves to eat good food and drink wine. And so when we first met, I had this like kind of like tiny little whisper one day that was like, so now that you love yourself with abs, are you gonna love yourself when you fuck it up and let it all go? And lose it all and fuck it up? And I'm like, no, I don't want to learn that. I was like, but that's the next lesson, isn't it? And so here comes this guy who like loves me unconditionally and thinks I look good, even when I look like cat barf and like my hair looks like it came out of a drain or something. He's like, why are you so beautiful? And I'm like, are you blind? So anyway, we've had he loves having good meals with me and drinking wine and like being cozy. And so that is not conducive to being thin or cut or toned. And so I'm now like on the other half of my same wobble that I've been on all my life. And you know what? I think I've passed the test this time because I haven't been particularly hard on myself, about it. I haven't been like, oh, you're hideous. Like, I feel like I still look pretty. I still feel attractive. I could definitely feel better. my clothes could definitely fit better. And overall though, I still feel lovable. I love myself. He loves me. Like, I don't feel like, no one's gonna love me anymore if I don't have abs. And yeah, so I think, and I'm really surprised because I haven't been angry at myself over it either. And I think that shows a lot of growth, is that I've been able to just accept that it happened and not beat myself up over it and not talk to myself horribly and not have terrible thoughts about my body or my body image or have dysmorphia about it. I'm just like, okay, I'm still pretty. I still look good. I want to feel better. I want to feel more energetic again. I'm ready to get back in shape. I'm ready to like get back into my, some of my other favorite outfits and stuff that I can't wear right now. But yeah, I'm not like upset about it or like, you know, too worked up over it. And I can even laugh about it. The other day I told my production manager on a job, we were talking about like gaining weight over quarantine. And I was like, oh, I know, like it's been bad. I told Tori, I was like, we really went ham on the desserts at first. But I was telling Tori while he was gone, I was telling my production manager that I was telling Tori that I was like, he'll be so proud of me. I finally went from fat to chubby again. Oh, so yeah, well, we'll see. Well, we'll see if some like Weight Watchers will call and sponsor me and see if they'll give me a free plan or something. I don't know. I'm not really good at diets. I just try to like eat well and exercise, and that usually works out the best. All right, well, this has been the difference between self-love and self-care. And then we stuck pretty much to topic. We got off topic a little bit. I went off script. I'll try not to read off a piece of paper for you. All right, well, I will see y'all soon. I'm going to try to make more videos. It's hard because it seems like videos take a little bit longer, and I can edit myself better when I'm writing, and I can do it faster, but I feel like overall I just get more response with videos. Like I feel like people like watching me talk, not more than they like reading, but like, I don't know, for me, reading people's blogs, even though I like doing it, is a different experience for me than watching videos, and I love watching videos. Like, I feel like I get to know people, even though that's an insane delusion, and I feel like they're like hanging out with me or something. So I want to do that too, and just want to put out more content all the time. So yeah, I enjoy making videos once I get started. And I think that like not really being too strict about, like, I'm not trying to edit myself through the whole thing. I'm not trying to do it perfectly. I'm just letting it be a mess. And I think that's good. I think I like it like that. And it's less pressure on me. So then there's a lot less editing later. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is it like, are you wanting to like kill yourself all the way through the video, or you like hanging with me? I don't know. I feel like this is more like real life with me rather than like staged. So you can give me your opinions, but they probably won't matter anyway. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye. I had to come back on and interject this point because I forgot to add this, but it's really important. Self-love is also about being mindful of the self-talk in your mind? Like, how are you talking to yourself inside of your head? And for most of us, until we become really aware of it, there is a pretty shitty toxic tape playing over and over again. It's probably telling us how stupid we are, how ugly, how worthless, how unlovable, how awkward. Oh my God, how could you have done that? Why did you say that? Hey, remember that time you did this like 20 years ago? Like, that tape is garbage. Throw it out. If you're not aware of this, you can press stop and take the tape out or change the station. Like, you can be like, oh my God, listen to what's going on in my mind. Like, this is horrible. Like, I would never talk to someone else this way. So I'm not going to talk to myself this way. I'm going to think about kittens until I can change my thought process and think about something else, or actively tell myself, no, you are smart. You're capable. You're a wonderful human being. Like, you can do this. Like, you've done all kinds of other things. You've survived this long. Like, how we talk to ourselves makes all the difference in our mental sanity and our mental health and our quality of life. So it makes me so sad to find out that, you know, people talk so horribly to themselves all the time. Some people, you'll notice they're doing it out loud, you know, and you're just like, God, that's so sad. Like, you don't deserve to be treated this way, and you wouldn't want somebody else to treat you this way, but you're treating you this way. And then, so if that's what they're saying out loud, you can only imagine like what people are thinking in their minds most of the time. So one of the most important key first steps to self-love, to loving yourself, is to stop verbally abusing yourself, and mentally abusing yourself. Don't abuse yourself. Like, stop abusing yourself. Don't physically abuse yourself. Don't emotionally abuse yourself. Don't verbally or psychologically abuse yourself. And don't use other people to abuse yourself as a tool of self-sabotage. Okay? Don't let other people abuse you. Don't use other people to abuse you for you, and you don't abuse you. Okay? No abuse. Nice self-talk. We love ourselves. Say it in the mirror. That'll feel very naked and vulnerable. I remember the first time I tried to do that, the Louise Hay exercise of like standing in the mirror and telling myself I loved myself. I felt so stupid and so naked and so vulnerable at first, and it quickly like progressed into tears. And like, try it. Try it. It'll be a real strengthening moment for you. All right, signing off this time. Bye.